You're at a cafe, trying to pick a coffee. The menu offers more than a dozen variations: flat white, cappuccino, iced latte, turmeric latte, and that's just the start. Add in the flavor options: vanilla, caramel, hazelnut, and different types of milk to choose from. Almond, oat, soy, regular. Suddenly, the simple act of grabbing a coffee becomes an exercise in decision-making. What was supposed to be a quick stop has turned into a decision marathon, and the more you look at the menu, the more paralyzed you become. What if the flat white is too strong today? Maybe the iced latte will be too sweet. What if you're just in the mood for something totally different, and you're wasting time picking the wrong drink? This moment captures what's known as the paradox of choice, the idea that when we have too many options, instead of feeling liberated, we become overwhelmed. What was once a straightforward decision has spiraled into a series of what if there is a better option, and sorry to break it to you, but yes, there will always be better options out there. The catch is, if we spend our lives chasing these better choices, we'll only find ourselves in an endless loop. There will always be something else that seems better. It's like drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. The pursuit of perfection only leaves you wanting more without never being happy of what you already have. The theory was first coined by psychologist Barry Schwartz, who argued that having more options doesn't always lead to more freedom or happiness. In fact, it often leads to frustration, doubt, and regret. And it's not just the big decisions that suffer from this paradox, it's the small, everyday ones too. Imagine you're trying to pick a new phone. You head into the store, only to find dozens of models, each boasting its own set of features: better camera, longer battery life, larger screen. Every brand has its own marketing spiel, pushing you to believe that this phone is the one you've been waiting for. The more you look at the choices, the more uncertain you become. What if you pick the wrong one? What if you find out 2 weeks later that another model has just been released with a new feature that would have been perfect for you? This kind of decision-making, where you're confronted with endless choices and possible outcomes, is what creates cognitive overload. It doesn't matter that there's no single right choice. The abundance of options makes it harder to choose with confidence. As you stand there, you wonder, is this the best phone for me, or just the best one I can pick after hours of deliberation? As with picking a coffee or a phone, the same dilemma happens in 100 different places: choosing a movie to watch, selecting a dinner spot, deciding which route to take home, or even picking out clothes for the day. The wardrobe might be full, but somehow, the more options you have, the harder it becomes to decide what to wear. You stand in front of your closet, debating between that shirt you love but might not be right for the occasion, and the new one you've barely worn but aren't sure if it's you. Every choice feels like it carries more weight because there are so many alternatives to compare. And instead of enjoying the decision-making process, you end up anxious, weighing the possible regret that might follow. As a result, we end up spending far more time thinking about the decision than actually enjoying the outcome. If you've ever felt disappointed with your choice of coffee or had lingering doubts about your phone purchase, you've experienced the paradox firsthand. It's not the choice that's the problem, it's the overwhelming abundance of options. As more people feel the weight of constant choice, many are turning to minimalism, seeking a sense of liberation in simplifying their lives. The idea is that fewer options create less stress, allowing for clearer thinking and more focus on what truly matters. It's a way to free oneself from the endless cycle of decision fatigue, where the mind feels bogged down by too many possibilities. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He famously wore the same black turtleneck, jeans, and sneakers every day. For him, it wasn't just about comfort, it was about eliminating one trivial decision to save his mental energy for more important matters. By reducing the number of choices in his wardrobe, Jobs could focus on what mattered most: his work and his vision. This philosophy resonates with many who've found that embracing minimalism, whether in clothing, possessions, or even daily routines, offers a sense of calm and clarity that a world overloaded with options simply cannot provide. One way to counter this is to embrace the idea of satisficing. It's a strategy where you settle for a choice that's good enough instead of searching endlessly for the perfect option. Instead of looking at 15 different coffee variations, just pick one you know you like. Instead of scanning through endless phone reviews, choose the one that meets your core needs and move on. Perfection isn't necessary when good enough will do. At the end of the day, the paradox of choice reminds us that too many options can actually reduce our satisfaction, not increase it. Sometimes the best decision you can make is to limit your options and trust yourself to pick something that works. It might not be perfect, but it's enough, and that's a choice worth making.